see? Come like that's all them train the police them to come out and come do.
Brutality.
But you see?
And nobody can watch out the youth guys. Dis Unu Vote Fah. Come big and ready. That's Dis Unu Vote Fah. Watch it.
So all the tall one in my glasses is a jump down at the man just like say yo. That's why I'm talking every day. So when me hear police are them, I can't sorry for them. Can't not sorry for them. God see and know me, I tell you.
Short tittle C. 2. Interpretation. Rye 1. V and slash, he for sure anti-feel or office C. 3. SH or can floor of TH, Sisikab C course, the beside it a festidian TH psych. 4. USC of for CSH orc for P rival C do emxlet purpo CS. Licenses 5W use of the for sure and feel or off he C. 5. Prohibition of USC of the 4 CSH accord THC floor of THC without a licensee C. 6. Applica liar till the forlic cry CC by purses or is using IHC for CSH accord LHC floor of the SCA THC I Street June 1956. Here aliclet areas. 7. Per C science areas and prohibits C deactivi ticks. An SF RUC lion of flocks, wharves, piers, jellies, ek. 8. Patents, licenses, crumpits and rights already granted. 9. Future encroachments to be C authorized by licensee C from the appropriate minister. Abolishment L. Fun lions, do fies and powers of authority. 10. Deleted by Act Y of 1991, 3rd J. 101. Authority to grant Licheng C for USC of for seashore or floor of the sea. Publication of grant or refusal. 11. RC vocation, suspension or variation of licenses. 12. Duty to determine certain needs of public and power to acquire land therefore. 13. Authority to maintain, use and develop beaches for benefit of the public. 14. Power of authority to take steps for the establishment of right of public to use beach or to gain access thereto. 15. General powers of authority. 16. Deleted by Act 9 of 1991, 3rd. 17. Deleted by Act 9 of 1991, 3rd. 18. Power to make regulations. 19. Court order to protect foreshore. 20. Deleted by Act 9 of I-99 I 3rd. 21. Deleted by Act 9 of I-99 I 3rd. 22. Deleted by Act 9 of I-99 I 3rd. 23. Deleted by Act 9 of I-99 3rd. Acquisition of land. 24. Application by the authority. 25. Approval of application by minister. 26. Notice of approval to be published in the Gazette before acquiesce. 27. Appointment, powers and duty of commission. 28. Determination of compensation. 29. Vesting of land by order of the Mr. and taking of possession by the authority. 30. Publication of report of commission. Reference to court and procedure their AA fair. 3.1. Reference to court. 32. Commission statement to the court. 3.3. Service of notice. 34. Power to appoint assessors if objection is in regard to amount of compensation. 35. Death, etc., of assessor, restriction on scope of inquiry. Proceedings to be in open court. Record of assessor's opinion. Difference of opinion between judge and assessors. Assessor's fees. Awards to be in writing. Costs. Rules of Supreme Court applicable. Appeal from decision of court. Determination of apportionment of compensation. Costs of apportionment to be borne by interested parties. Authority to pay compensation. Police to enforce surrender. Exemption from stamp duty, etc. Commission not to cease to exist until all their functions and duties have been discharged. Bar of suits to set aside awards. Amendment of penalties by order. Public recreational beaches. 52. Power to declare beach to be a public recreational beach and 2. Define the same. Revesting of land or beach. 53. Revesting of land for purpose or in furtherance of commercial enterprise. 54. Revocation of order declaring beach to be a public recreational beach in the interests of development. Beach control. Appeals, FEMA authority. 55. Appeal to minister from decision of authority. Application to Crown. 56. Application of Act to the Crown. Schedule deleted 6. V Act 9 of 1991. Third, the Beach Control Act. Preliminary. Laws. 63 of 1955. 1. This act may be cited as the Beach Control 11 Act. 25 of 1960. X. 14 of 1964. 12 of 1969. Third. 2. In this act unless the context otherwise requires. 14 of 1971. S. 8 or MD second. 9 of 1991. Third. 33 of 1991. 9.22. 17 of 2004. Short title. Adjoining land means land adjoining the foreshore of this island and extending not more than 100 yards beyond the landward limit of the foreshore. Authority means the Natural Resources Conservation 91,991. Authority established under the Natural Resources 3D Conservation Authority Act. Commercial enterprise includes a. The business of carrying on a hotel or a proprietary club or the business of letting premises whereby the facilities mentioned 511959 in section a fourth of may be enjoyed in S2. B. The commercial use of a bathing beach 2, which the public are admitted for bathing or recreation upon payment of a fee and C. The erection, construction or maintenance of any dock, wharf, pier, jetty or other form of encroachment. Commission means any commission appointed under Section 27. Court means the Supreme Court. Dock means an enclosure for the reception of vessels, including structures for loading and unloading or repairing vessels. Fishing includes purposes incident to fishing. Floor of the sea means the soil and subsoil off the coasts of the island between low water mark and the outer limits of the territorial sea of the island and shall be deemed to include the water column superadjacent to the floor of the sea and the natural resources therein, and the exclusive economic zone. Foreshore means that portion of land adjacent to the sea that lies between the ordinary high and low water marks being alternately covered and uncovered as the tide ebbs and flows. Interested party includes every person claiming an interest in compensation to be paid on account of the compulsory acquisition of any land under this act but does not include a tenant by the month or at will. Jetty means a structure extending into the sea to protect or defend a harbor or to facilitate the loading and unloading of vessels. Land includes rights and interests of any nature or description whatever in or over land. Local authority means in relation to the corporate area as defined in the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation Act, the Council of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, and B. in relation to the parishes not within the corporate area, the parish councils of such parishes and their respective parishes. Pier means a structure raised on piles or any other form of support extending into the sea for use as a landing place. The minister means the minister responsible for beach control. Owner means owner of an estate and fee simple in the land or beach in relation to which the expression is used. The public includes any class of the public. Vessel includes every description of watercraft 171-004. S2 including an on-displacement craft, seaplane and a jet ski equipped with an inboard or outboard motor used or capable of being used as a means of transportation. And water sports equipment means any equipment used in 171-004. Connection with board sailing, boating, parasailing. S2. Scuba diving, sunfish sailing, water skiing, jet skiing, or other water-related recreational sports. Wharf means a quayside structure erected in a harbor or 171-004. River for the loading or unloading of vessels. Rights in the foreshore and floor of the sea. 3. 1. Subject to the provisions of this section, all rights in foreshore and over the foreshore of this island and the floor of the sea are hereby declared to be vested in the Crown, declared to be vested in to all rights in or over the foreshore of this island or to the floor of the sea derived from or acquired under or by virtue of the Registration of Titles Act or any express grant or license from the Crown subsisting immediately before the commencement of this act are hereby expressly till the preserved. 3. Except as provided in Section 7, nothing in this Act of 511960 contained shall be deemed to affect S3. Any rights enjoyed by fishermen engaged in fishing as a trade where such rights existed immediately before the 1st of June, 1956 in or over any beach or adjoining land or be the enjoyment by such fishermen of the use of any part of the foreshore adjoining any beach or land, in or over which any rights have been enjoyed by them up to the 1 Street June 1956 use of shore for private, domestic purposes. 511959 S3 row I bit of use of the foreshore or for no person shall be deemed to have any rights in or over the foreshore of this island or the floor of the sea save such as are derived from or acquired or preserved under or by virtue of this act, for any person who is the owner or occupier of any land adjoining any part of the foreshore and any member of his family and any private guest of his shall be entitled to use that part of the foreshore adjoining his land for private, domestic purposes, that is to say, for bathing, fishing, and other like forms of recreation and as a means of access to the sea for such purposes, provided that where any land as aforesaid is let, the letting of which is in pursuance of a commercial enterprise, the right to the use of the foreshore for private domestic purposes shall only be by virtue of a license granted to the lessor under this act, license tilde for use of the foreshore and floor of the sea. 5-41 from and after the 1st of June 1956, no person shall encroach on or use or permit any encroachment on or use of the floor of the foreshore or the floor of the sea for any public purpose or for a sea without a license in connection with any trade or business or commercial enterprise or in any other manner whether similar to the foregoing or not except as provided by sections 3, 4 and 8, without a license granted under this act, to any person who contravenes the provisions of subsection 1 shall be liable on summary conviction before a resident magistrate to imprisonment with or without hard labor for a term not exceeding 12 months or 171 to 00 for a fine not exceeding $500,000 and in default S3 of payment of any such fine to imprisonment with or without 171 to 00 for hard labor for a term not exceeding 12 months or to both S3b such imprisonment and fine where a company is guilty of a contravention of the provisions of subsection I. Every director, manager, agent and officer of the company in this island who is knowingly a party to the contravention shall be liable to the penalty prescribed by subsection 2. 6. 1 where at the 1st of June 1956 any person is applicatia tilde I. Tor license encroaching on or using or permitting any encroachment by persons, a nor user of the foreshore or the floor of the sea except as using the authorized by this act, such person may continue or may continue to permit such encroachment or user for a period not to see at exceeding 6 months after the 1st of June 1956 but such person shall, if he intends to continue or to permit the continuance of such encroachment or user for any longer period, apply to the authority for a license under this act within the aforesaid period. If 6 months, any person who applies for a license pursuant to subsection 1 shall not be deemed to be acting in contravention of subsection 1 of section 5, between the date of application for the license and the date on which the application is finally disposed of by the grant of the license or otherwise by reason only of the continuance of any encroachment or user prohibited by subsection 1 of section 5. Protected areas. 7. 1 notwithstanding anything to the contrary in this protected act, the minister may, upon the recommendation of the ZD authority, make an order declaring activities to 511960 any part of the foreshore and the floor of the CS4 defined in the order together with the water lying on such part of the floor of the sea to be a protected area for the purposes of this act, and b such activities as may be specified in the order to be prohibited activities in the area defined in the order, being any or all of the following activities: I. Fishing by any means specified in the order. E. The use of vessels other than boats propelled by wind or oars or of water sports equipment, where such vessels or equipment are used for purposes other than for the doing of anything which may be lawfully done under the Harbors Act, the Shipping Act, the Pilotage Act, the Fishing Industry Act, or the Exclusive Economic Zone Act. E. The disposal of rubbish or any other waste matter. If waterskiing. V. The dredging or disturbance in any way of the floor of the sea. Th. The destruction or removal of coral, sea fans and sedentary marine animals. v. the searching for or removal of any treasure or artifact from the floor of the sea. Any order made under this section may contain provisions for the constitution of a board or the appointment of 171-00 for persons to undertake the conservation, protection or for b. habilitation of the area defined in such order. 3. The provisions of subsection 5 of section 9 which relate to the laying of regulation before the House of Representatives and the Senate shall apply to orders made under this section as they apply to regulations made under the said section 9. 13. For the minister may, if he thinks fit, grant to any person applying therefore in such form and subject to such conditions as the minister may think fit, a license to carry on in any area are defined in an order made under this section. Any prohibited activity specified in such order. 5. Every person, not being a person appointed to undertake the conservation, protection or rehabilitation of any 71-004 for CI area defined in an order made under this section who without a license from the minister carries on within such area any activity specified in such order shall be guilty of an offense against this act and shall be liable on summary conviction before a resident magistrate to a fine not exceeding 5171-004 $100,000 for CE. Construction of docks, herves piers, jetties, etc. Out. Every patent, license, permit and right expressly granted at science by the Crown before the 1st of June, 1956 for taking up of Sholi water and for the erection, construction or maintenance of any rights, dock, wharf, pier, jetty, structure or other form of encroachment as, whether similar to the foregoing or not on the foreshore or the floor of the sea shall be deemed valid, and it shall not be necessary to obtain any license therefore under the provisions of this act during the continuance of such patent, license, permit or right or during the period of any extension of such patent, license, permit or right in accordance with the provisions of the original grant.
Hot water channel, straight to the max. Bring the thing to the people then. Original generous people. Same way. Man, big up hot water channel, enough ice cream. Yeah man, big up yourself.